Hello everyone, we're back for Bible time. Thanks for joining me. So we are in Genesis. We're going to do chapters 32 and 33 today. Sorry, I am losing my voice, so I'm going to try to make it through this. I'm reading the English Standard Version. Disclaimer, any names, places. I haven't done my research, so I might mess it up. Please forgive me in advance. The point is to get through the Bible, make it through this journey, and if you want to come with me, feel free. Alright, and I do egg commentaries. I try to make it fun for myself to get through in a way. So, that chapter 32 starts with Jacob fears Esau. Now, Jacob had stolen his brother's birthright and his brother's blessing because his mother convinced him to lie to his father, deceive his father. And then he had to leave home because his brother Esau was going to kill him when he found out. So the mother, sent him to her kinsman, where Jacob, I think, spent 20 years earning 2 wives and then some livestock so that he could build a life for these women. And now he just escaped his father-in-law because his father-in-law kept trying to keep him there because he realized Jacob was such a blessing. God was clearly blessing this guy over and over and over again, giving him everything he wanted. But they didn't realize is Jacob had to work pretty hard for it. So now we're up to where Jacob is leaving. He's getting away. He's taking his wives and his livestock, and he's going to build his own life back at home after 20 years. So Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's camp." So he called the name of the place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, in the land of Seir, the country of Edom, instructing them, "Thus you shall say to my lord Esau, Thus says your servant Jacob, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed until now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, male servants, and female servants, and I have sent to tell my lord, in order that I may find favor in your sight." So he's still fearful of his brother, clearly. So he's sending people ahead to see if they get killed, I guess, instead of him. I mean, he's a smart guy. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to your brother Esau, and he is coming to meet you, and there are 400 men with him." He's bringing an army. He really must want his brother dead. After 20 years. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, as I would be. He divided the people who were with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels into 2 camps, thinking, if Esau comes to the one camp and attacks it, then the camp that is left, will escape. And Jacob said, "O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who said to me, Return to your country and to your kindred, that I may do you good. I am not worthy of the least of all the deeds of steadfast love, and all the faithfulness that you have shown to your servant. For with only my staff I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become 2 camps. Please deliver me from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, that he may come and attack me, the mothers with the children. But you said, I will surely do you good, and make your offspring as the sand of the sea, which could not be numbered for multitude." So he stayed there that night, and from what he had with him he took a present for his brother Esau, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milking camels and their calves, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. These he handed over to his servants. Every drove by itself, and said to his servants, "Pass on ahead of me, and put a space between drove and drove." He instructed the first, "When Esau my brother meets you and asks you, To whom do you belong? Where are you going? And whose are these ahead of you? Then you shall say, They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a present sent to you, my lord Esau, and moreover, he is behind us." He likewise instructed the second and the third and all who followed the droves. You shall say the same thing to Esau when you find him, and you shall say, Moreover, your servant Jacob is behind us. For he thought, I may appease him with the present that goes ahead of me, and afterward I shall see his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So the present passed on ahead of him, and he himself stayed that night in the camp. The same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and everything else that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, Let me go, for the day has broken. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. And he said to him, What is your name? And he said, Jacob. Then he said, Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed. Then Jacob asked him, Please tell me your name. But he said, Why is it that you ask my name? And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, For I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered. The sun rose upon him as he passed, Penuel limping because of his lip. As he passed Penuel, limping because of his hip. Therefore to this day the people of Israel do not eat the sinew of the thigh that is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip on the sinew of the thigh. Jacob wrestled with God and won. God let him win, come on, admit it. God could have taken Jacob down as a human in a heartbeat, but he let him win. I think he was internally fighting with him. Part of Jacob's internal fight on his fear of his brother, maybe. Let's read on. Let's find out what's going on with Esau here. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, this is chapter 33, by the way. Esau was coming, and 400 men with him. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the 2 female servants. And he put the servants with their children in front, then Leah with her children, and Rachel and Joseph last of all. He himself went on before them, bowing himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. He's terrified. He's terrified. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. That is so sweet. His brother missed him. And when Esau lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children, he said, Who are these with you? Jacob said, The children whom God has graciously given your servant. Then the servants drew near, they and their children, and bowed down. Leah likewise and her children drew near and bowed down. And last Joseph and Rachel drew near, and they bowed down. Esau said, What do you mean by all this company that I meet? Jacob answered, To find favor in the sight of my Lord. But Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. Jacob said, No, please. If I have found favor in your sight, then accept my present from my hand. For I have seen your face, which is like seeing the face of God, and you have accepted me. Please accept my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. Thus he urged him, and he took it. Then Esau said, Let us journey on our way, and I will go ahead of you. But Jacob said to him, My Lord, that the children are frail, and that the nursing flocks and herds are a care to me. If they are driven hard for one day, all the flocks will die. Let my Lord pass on ahead of his servant, and I will lead on slowly, at the pace of the livestock that are ahead of me, and at the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir. So Esau said, Let me leave with you some of the people who are with me. But he said, What need is there? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. But Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built himself a house and made booths for his livestock. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, on his way from Padan Aram, and he camped before the city. And from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, he bought for 100 pieces of money the piece of land on which he had pitched his tent. There he erected an altar and called it El Elohe Israel. Now, chapter 34. Remember when I told you a few chapters back, Dinah was really important. She was all these sons were born to Leah and Rachel, and then there was Dinah, right? She's coming up in chapter 34, and it's a good one. It's good. It's really good. Wow, we have some really awesome stuff coming up, and we're not even done with Genesis. But so now we see Esau's not mad anymore. The brothers can get along. The manipulation and conniving of their mother, they've let that go. And in return, the mother did lose both of her sons, in a way trying to get more favor over one than the other. So hopefully Rebecca learned her lesson. I don't know if she's going to show back up. We're going to find out. But thank you for joining me on this adventure. And let's see what happens when Dinah plays a big part in the picture next time in chapter 34. Alright, thanks for joining me. Love you. Bye.